So something unprecedented is happening at the 2019 Bilderberg meeting. Well, that's the fact that still no one knows where it's going to happen, and it was not announced. Usually at this time, we know where it's going to happen, the topics that are going to be discussed, the attendees that are going there. And this year, it looks like the globalists are laying low. And that's one way of saying it. But of course, we're going to discuss this plus a lot more. And this issue is a very important one because, a lot of people, when it comes to this specific topic, if you even talk about this issue, you get slandered, you get attacked, you get called a conspiracy theorist. We're going to forego any of the theories out there. We're going to stick to the facts here because it's important to understand that, yes, there's elite power groups out there. They do exist. Members of these groups even acknowledge and talk about it. But you even talk about that, you're deemed a horrible human being, a crazy conspiracy theorist. But there's actual important issues to discuss with the Bilderberg that, by the way, Jason, in 2016, they specifically discussed a proposed internet ID. They were talking about regulating, censoring, and controlling the internet for years and years now. But specifically in 2016, they were even talking about allowing Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter to use online passports to revoke posting permissions if it violates a, quote, term of agreement. Now we're seeing a slurry of people being banned left and right, mostly anti-establishment figures, because of broad-ranging, generalized terms and services that are not even stated, but we're seeing the usurping of free speech online, which is important. And again, this is something to worry about. One of the other topics that they talked about is the, quote, post-truth world, where, of course, online censorship, internet controlling speech is the actual issue here that was discussed by many important world figures. We're talking about the heads of intelligence agencies, the heads of state, kings and queens, meeting with individuals from Goldman Sachs, Lockheed Martin, Boeing, military industrial complex companies, and other titans from Amazon and Facebook and Google, sitting down together in secret with predominantly mainstream media, acquiescence, usually silence, usually not even daring to mention that this meeting is happening. Meanwhile, 10 celebrities, holy cow, the mainstream media is talking about it like it was something crazy. 150 around the most influential intellectuals, powerful people in the world meeting together. Jason, who cares, right?
Well, let's talk about some things. So in 2017, they started talking about an internet ID, or that may have been 2016, not sure. But they were talking about basically these revocation of powers. We've actually seen some of that come into fruition in the UK with having to have an ID to access pornography. These are the incremental steps that we talk about to track, trace, and database people on the internet. Now, last year...
Jason, this is important. This happened in June of 2016. By the way, this happened in Dresden. We were there on the ground, okay? This is where literally police officers surrounded me and said, leave the city of Dresden now, or we're going to beat you up and lock you up for whatever reason we want. They stormed and investigated and interrogated our hotel room. They barged into our hotel room, started searching us illegally, violating our rights in Germany. So this happened in June of 2016. They were talking about purging people on social media before these major purges were implemented. And this is just one of the many circumstances surrounding this group that should be directly questioned. Sorry, go ahead, Jason.
No, so again, you see that these people are extremely patient. And here's another example I want to show people. So if you check out a guy named Etienne Davignon, okay? I'm probably butchering his name. He was the chairman for many years, still involved in the Bilderberg group. He openly admitted in 2009 that after decades of the group trying to bring the European Union into fruition, it was they who brought the euro, the currency used throughout Europe, into fruition. A globalist currency, a move to a more unified, unilateral currency. These are realities. However, right now, there is a concerted effort to attack people like Nigel Farage, okay? Who I may not agree with all the time.
Yeah, and by the way, I disagree with him on a lot of different political point of views as well.
Sure, but now they are literally using the Bilderberg group, his talk of a new world order, international banking systems, and the European Union to say that he's an anti-Semite. They're saying that's what this really means. These conspiracy theories means he hates the Jews, and the Jews are behind everything. They were not able to piece together one clip of him saying that. And of course, with all of the negative press about Alex Jones out there recently, what did they do? They took a bunch of his interviews with Alex Jones, they cut them up, and I got to tell you, I watched it. It's a huge nothing burger. And you know that I go to The Guardian quite a bit because, hey, let's be honest, The Guardian was the first one to let Charlie Skelton start reporting fairly on the Bilderberg group. But I haven't seen that fair reporting in the last couple of years.
Yeah, it's important to also understand a lot of journalists and a lot of heads of media, heads of the large conglomerates attend these meetings with all of the other individuals that I just mentioned and all the other figureheads that I just mentioned before. There is pure conflict of interest here. And again, what Nigel Farage is saying is not a conspiracy theory. There's members that actually come out, like Davignon, and brag about this. Now, there's an important underlining aspect here that I believe has actually been brought into some kind of perspective by Neil Ferguson. Now, Jason, you found this clip, you played it, you made a whole video on your own about this, but he's talking about how, yeah, elite power groups do exist. He specifically talked about, well, maybe it's not just about the New World Order, but it's about people coming together and washing each other's hands, patting each other on the back, and helping each other out with, of course, concerted interests that they have, mutual interests. I mean, it makes sense that people conspire together for their own benefit. And then the media is going to tell you, oh, you think people are conspiring together to help each other out? You crazy conspiracy theorist, how dare you be so racist? And I'm like, wait, hold on. Why are we being attacked for even questioning this or even just talking about it? And again, if you've been watching our coverage, it's been very pragmatic. It's been like, hey, this meeting's happening here. Let's go talk to the individuals. We talk to them. You're like, let's give it. We do everything in our power every year. We're going to be there this year. We don't know where it is, but I'm going to be there. I'm setting my intentions. I'm gonna make sure I have off. I'm going to be traveling. If we can't find, I'm going to be going to different hotels, knocking on the door. I don't care. I'm going to find this thing. But we go there and we talk to individuals. We try to get comments and there is an aspect of this that a lot of people play up to seem more powerful, to seem more elite, which we also document and talk about. But this video by Neil Ferguson, Jason, that you found, really, I believe is pretty accurate here.
Yeah. And before we play just a very small segment of this, I want to tell people that, listen, this guy is a Hoover historian. He is a Bilderberg attendee, somebody they bring in. He's a journalist. Recently did a piece on for the Boston Globe on Syria, Venezuela. This guy is very much involved currently with the conversation about foreign and domestic policy in this country.
Yeah, he's like an intellectual establishment historian type.
Yes, and right now he is openly going to say that yes, these groups do exist.
This is a real elite network, and it is it's very important to recognize that it exists and is not dreamt up by conspiracy theorists. It's not an invention. These mostly men know one another.
Not an invention. You see it right there. He's talking about it. Luke, his latest book is called The Tower and the Square. From the Freemasons to Facebook, talking about secretive organizations. Now, again, he spins it, for instance, for the most part, that they are doing good work, at least in the instances that he's seen. And he refutes that he's ever been to a Bilderberg meeting where the New World Order was on the table or part of the speaking venue. But after last year, Luke, when we saw the Daily Mail actually somewhat infiltrate the Bilderberg group for the very first time ever. For people that don't know that story, check it out. She was able to get into a dining hall as a worker, didn't get a lot of information. I think that they are very hesitant now with all the turmoil going on in France, the Yellow Vest movement, to, number one, announce where they're going to be, and number two, even hold it in Europe after last year they were infiltrated in Turin, Italy, even with all that security that you witnessed. And now with the turmoil, I really think that's why we're not seeing this. I wouldn't be surprised if this stuff doesn't leak out or come out into the public about a week beforehand. But just like you, I'd love to go this year if it was in the States. I doubt it's
Yeah.
going to be in the States. A lot of people are speculating Ottawa,
It could
Canada.
be in the States or it could be in Canada. Many people are saying Ottawa. But again, guys, your donations run this independent media organization. If we could raise enough funds, we'll do our best to be there. Jason, I don't see that being the realm out of the possibility, especially if it's in Canada. We should definitely go.
Yeah.
I'm going
100%.
regardless. Yeah, I mean, your donations are more important than ever. There's a lot of speculation. There's a lot of theories out there. Some people are pointing to the fact that last year Bilderberg talked about Saudi Arabia and Iran, that there might be something boiling up here. There may be some kind of big event. We haven't been able to confirm that with any evidence that is not just substantiated. We can't substantiate it, so we're not going to kind of espouse any of those theories on that. But again, you look at a lot of their key discussion points. You look at a lot of their talking points. You look at a lot of their members that do come out and speak about these meetings. It's interesting. It's fascinating, and it's something that deserves more attention than it's getting. And the reason media is getting attacked for it. I mean, I remember, Jason, back in the day, you even brought up Bilderberg Group. People were saying, "Oh, yeah, that doesn't exist. You're a conspiracy theorist. You're a crazy lunatic. You believe in black helicopters too." That's literally what the media was talking about. And now it's like, oh yeah, whatever, they exist, but we're not going to talk about them, even though it's 150 of the most influential, powerful people coming together, meeting and talking. And I believe, hey, I'm curious, and I think everyone else should be curious and should be trying to find out what's going on there.
Absolutely. And my last point to make here is with the Logan Act actually making its way into mainline American political discourse now, with not only Michael Flynn, but the President of the United States, Donald Trump, talking about possibly using it against John Kerry. The question has to be asked, why are we not using it against the American political leaders that attend this meeting? It is an obvious violation of meeting with foreign powers and colluding with them outside of our government. That is the truth, and I really hope that more people make that point. However, Luke, other than us and a handful of others, no one is talking about Bilderberg 2019, and certainly not the largest name in alternative media. And that's why, guys, you are more important than ever. Just like Luke said, without your support, without your donations, how the hell are we even going to cover this year? Hopefully we're going to be able to do so. And like Luke said, if it is close to us, I think both of us are going to make it our way down there.
Even if it's GoFundMe, man. Let's try to do a GoFundMe so we raise enough money for this. What do you think?
Maybe we will. I don't see a problem with that. It would help to say, hey, this is when we're going to go.
We don't know where we're going to go because we don't know where it is, but we need emergency funding.
Yeah.
Like set up a budget for maybe we could even buy like a refundable ticket or transferable ticket now somewhere and then use that as an exchange. But I don't know. Let's talk about this.
I think about and just give some people some inside baseball at the end of this video. I'd say for a 3-day trip between the two of us, depending on whether there has to be flights, I wouldn't leave the country. I don't have a passport, full disclosure, guys. But let's say probably that's a $1,500 to $2,000 budget if you got to take a plane, even if you had to drive across the country and get a rental, 2 or 3 nights in a hotel. The ability to get maybe a little bit more gear, maybe a new little camera that we can, maybe not even a camera, but something that'll actually allow us to have great internet access while we're there so we can live stream without
an internet card. It's expensive to travel. There's a reason I'm crashing in my friend's place right now. It's not cheap, guys, to say the least. But maybe we could do something. I've been telling you to get your passport, damn it, for a while there, Jason. Son of a gun. That's a whole other discussion.
Yeah.
But
well, for people that don't understand, me and Luke got together just about 2 years ago now at Bilderberg 2017, where I literally left my job on a Friday night at midnight, drove down to Chantilly, Virginia, slept in a parking lot from about 5 a.m. to 9 a.m. around the corner, and then busted out my camera, went down there. I was one of the first 4 or 5 people there. I'm waiting for the crowd, and alas, Luke, there was no crowd. So, we're going to do our best this year, not only to cover it, but hopefully get more people down there and bring attention to these elites, because it does still matter. They are still setting policy.
Yep. It's important to understand there's a lot of unanswered questions, but it's important to ask them, and it's important to be there. It's important to document there. It's important to support independent journalism. We could do anything, and that's why your support is more important than ever. Sign up on our email list. We're going to be creating an email now, organizing things better now, raising more funds for specific projects now. So stay tuned for more here on WeAreChange.org. for more independent media. Thank you, Jason.